hit record, there we go. That actually makes a shift of that heart center space a little back. So you're gonna explore this a little bit, or you have the option, since it's all optional. Okay, someone coming in, so we'll let them in. Wait, talking to myself, talking to Zoom, is what I'm talking to. Hi, Ashley. All right. Oh, and then the other piece I wanted to talk about, we just talked about where's serratus anterior, and that we were going to reach from serratus in some of our poses today. So we talked about serratus is at the medial border of the shoulder blade, goes under the shoulder blade, attaches to ribs 2 through 9. And then can we just remember about the inner and outer elbow for a moment? This is the inner elbow. When the elbows in anatomical position, the palms face forward. So this is the inner elbow, and this is the outer elbow. Even if I take my hand and I turn it like in downward facing dog, this is still my inner elbow, and this is my outer elbow, right? So like with Lise, because she's been having a lot of tendonitis in the elbows, and some of us have a little, in negotiating our elbows between our hands and our shoulders, there's an influence, of course. So I'm going to say, I want to encourage you sometimes to be going from your outer elbow through the forearm. See, it goes through the bone, the force, and across a membrane that's between those two bones and all the way to the root of your thumb. So it'll be outer elbow through the interior of the forearm to the root of the thumb. Inner elbow across the bicep to the back of the shoulder, to the back of the shoulder joint. Okay? So for some of you, you've heard this before. Sometimes, right, we used to in strength and conditioning, we'd do a lot of work from outer elbow, across the forearm into the index finger knuckle, root of the thumb. We'd go inner elbow across the bicep to the back of the shoulder. So there you have a couple things. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to take a comfortable seat. Oftentimes I tell you that because my son is home with us because he can't be at college right now. And I often share with you that he's taking public speaking. And so he always has these different public speaking assignments. So his recent assignment that he had to do on Monday was he had to memorize something and he had to recite it. He never lets me hear him do it, but I get to know what he chooses. And so he chose a part of Winnie the Pooh. And so, we read Winnie the Pooh to Amos, hundreds of times when he was little. I had forgotten, like 15, 20 years go by. And so I go, well, which part of Winnie the Pooh are you reading? And it's the part where Pooh goes to visit Rabbit. And he's doing his little sing-songy thing. But as I read this part to myself, and this one part of it made me feel so much joy. And we could use a little bit of joy. So I'm going to just share with you that little part of Winnie the Pooh. So it's not a long section. You can go back and read the chapter about when Winnie the Pooh visits Rabbit. And I think you'll smile about that. But go ahead and take a comfortable seat. You're welcome to close your eyes. Find the ground beneath you. Lengthen your spine. And drop into the presence of your breath. And drop into your ujjayi. And anytime, anywhere, you can drop into the presence of your breath. It doesn't mean that you have to practice ujjayi breathing when you're in the grocery store or somewhere like that. But you can practice your ujjayi now. And at other times, maybe when you don't want to be so obvious about your breathing, you could always practice just the balanced inhale and exhale. But for now, make your breath smooth. See if you can smooth out some of the wrinkles that might be present during your inhale. Or maybe during the exhale. And while you practice your breathing, I'm going to share with you just this little bit of when Pooh visits Rabbit. And here is Pooh. He's humming this hum to himself, walking along, gaily wondering what everybody else was doing and what it felt like being somebody else. And when suddenly he came to a sandy bank, and in the bank was a large hole. Aha, said Pooh. If I know anything about anything, that hole means rabbit. And rabbit means company. And company means food and listening. So you're hearing the sound of your own breath. And then at the bottom of your next exhale, releasing any control on your breath. And bring your hands in front of your heart. This morning we're going to chant. You're welcome to join me. I'll be chanting Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanao Bhunaktu. Sa Vidyam Karaba Ba'ai Teja Svina Tamas Tu Ma Vibhyasha Ba'ai. So remembering together, may we be protected. Together, may we be nourished. May our practice have great energy. And may it dispel any of the darkness, the heaviness. May it be illuminating and bring light. And may we be kind. May we be able to put ourselves sometimes in someone else's. What is it like to be somebody else, as Pooh says? So taking a deep inhale. Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Savidyam Karavavai Tejasvinavarim Tamastu Ma Vivyashavai Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And then with your next exhale, you can bow your head towards your heart. Release your hands and lift your gaze. And I'll just remind you that if you do come into class and say for some reason you come in just a little late, and I just know that if you end up in the waiting room, I'll come and get you out. So just being patient sometimes. If you do end up there, don't run away. I'm sure at some point I'll notice, since right now Zoom is having a waiting room present. Okay, let's come to standing, please. You're going to come to standing, and could you please have like a chair or a table or something that you're going to be able to put your foot upon. Let me just move this out of my way so I can see better. All right. So I'm going to sit my chair up actually so that there'll be a wall behind it, because I'm going to take, for some of us, just putting blocks on the seat of the chair will be high enough, because in a moment you're going to put your foot up on that. For some of you, maybe you have a table or something that's the right height. For some of us, we might end up putting, a block at the back of the chair and leaning that against the wall. That might be a better height. Whatever you've chosen, you're going to face that. You're going to stand, we're going to stand on the right foot first. So if you look down at your right foot, we'll point the foot towards the chair, shift the weight to the right, and bring your left leg up. Left leg up onto either something on a chair, on the table, or whatever is the right height. The height that allows you to keep that outer left hip dropping down. Okay, reach into your standing leg. So I can notice, is the hip crease from the pubic bone all the way across the top of the thigh able to drop all the way out to where the outer hip is? And then let's inhale, lift both arms. So here, can you reach through serratus anterior, along the side ribs, all the way up towards the hands, through the fingertips. Can you practice your ujjayi? And then your next exhale will release the arms. and step down. I'm going to shift the weight to the left and pick up the right. If you bring the Ujjayi in right as you begin to bring this foot up or right before, you'll have a better success probably with balance, because the Ujjayi, as we know, helps knit the body together. So check, this is a different leg. So is the right outer hip still able to drop down? Are you reaching into the standing leg, both the inner heel? So like for someone like Anne and myself, those of us that wear the outsides of our shoes down, we want to make sure that the weight on the standing leg isn't dropping just into the outer heel, but also into the inner heel. And then when you're ready, lift your arms. And if we were Pooh, we would sing some little tune. So lengthening all the way up from that side serratus anterior along those side ribs, all the way up through the arms, through the fingertips. One more deep inhale. And with the exhale, you can release your arms and step down. If you have your blocks at the top of the back of the chair, you're going to want to take them off. If you're using a chair, we're going to take, I'm going to scoot my chair towards the wall here and take downward facing dog with my hands on the seat of the chair. You could do it with your hands on blocks on the ground if you're not using a chair. You could do it with your hands on the counter. That would be a little higher, but that's okay. It'd be more like a half Uttanasana. And then wherever you are in this pose, whatever you've chosen, and you lengthen from the side ribs all the way out the arms. Can you go from the outer elbow toward your index finger knuckle, root of the thumb? The inner elbow across the bicep to the back of the shoulder joint. Alrighty, and then we're gonna walk forward or step forward. Shift the hands to the hips to come to standing. Inhale, lift both arms. And exhale, hands back in Anjali Mudra. Back in front of the heart. One more time. Inhale, lift both arms. And then exhale, bring the hands back down. Again, back in front of the heart. Great. And then let's take the feet wide apart. Well, if you know that you benefit from having blocks, to take a wide-legged forward fold. We're headed there. So we're going to take the feet wide apart, hands up on the hips, take a deep inhale, exhale, bowing forward. Let's take our hands either to the ground or to your blocks and reach them out, downward dog arms. So I can be, either my hands might be on the ground, or I might be on my blocks, or I like to be oftentimes up on my finger pads rather than on my palms when I'm in this pose. Okay, and the sit bones, can you make sure the sit bones are broad? So that the inner sit bones are moving away from each other. What's the quality of your breath? All right, and then walk your hands back. Shift them up to your hips. Root the shoulder blades back and down and come back up to standing. And we're gonna take triangle pose. Take the feet apart. Take your left heel back, turn your right foot out. Some support at that right outer shin. And then when you're ready, let's inhale, take the arms out. And exhale to triangle. So I often like to bring the back hand to my hip first. Where's the weight coming into the front foot? Can you balance it so that it's not all in the outer front heel? Turn the spine up towards the sky and then lift the arm. Take the gaze where it's comfortable. So a lot of expansion in the inner body, right? From the front leg, through the pelvis to the back heel. The hands can reach away from each other. And inhale, rise. And we're gonna move second side. Shifting to the second side. When you're ready, inhale the arms out wide. And exhale, the pelvis moves away from the front thigh. Balancing the weight in the front hip. Practicing your ujjayi. Yeah, turning the thoracic spine. Great, beautiful, yes. I like to have the hand at the outer shin rather than the inner, only because of what does it do in regards to where the weight is, especially in the front hip. I notice that if my hand's in front of my leg, it puts more weight at the inner front hip joint. And I want to be in the center. And then with your next inhale, go ahead and come back up. And let's step the feet back together. Inhale, lift both your arms. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, take the arms out wide and back down along your side. Inhale, lift both arms. So I'm lengthening from the side again, from that serratus anterior up through my arms. Exhaling, chair. I notice as I keep reaching through the arms and I'm sitting back in my heels, there's a lot of energy in this reach. There's so much strength in this pose. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, release both arms. Take mountain pose for a moment. Just noticing your heart rate, your breath. Okay. So I want to take some support again, either with the seat of the chair, or you could use your blocks. But if I'm using my chair, it doesn't have to be against the wall. I'm going to take just a supported version of Warrior 3. So I look at my feet, make them parallel, and I might shift my weight in a moment. You'll start on the right leg first, but I'm just showing you when you reach, you're reaching down and back. Down, back, forward through the skull. And then come down, okay? So let's start on your right leg first. So find your breath. Reach into the standing leg and lift the back leg. Lengthening through the crown. And lower the left leg. Your exhale, you could be on both. There you notice both the feet on the ground. And then with the next inhale, pick up the right. If you have both of your arms straight, can you stay reaching through both arms? Energize the back inner thigh. Reach out the ball of the back foot. Lift, lift, lift. Get it up there. I know. It takes a lot of strength. That's great, Anne. Nice. Good. That's it, Lise. That's it. You're really reaching, lifting. You might, Michael, reach out the ball of the left foot, the ball of the lifted leg. Yep. Good. Jackie, that's so much better. So much more strength in that back leg right there. Keep going. One more breath. Looks great, Ingrid. And then we're going to lower. Good. Shift the hands back up onto the hips, please. And come back up to standing. All right, I'm just going to make sure that that's not in my way. Move your chair out of the way if it's right on your mat. And let's bring your blocks towards the top of your mat so that you've got them there. Hands in front of the heart. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, chair, Utkatasana. Keep reaching out, serratus anterior all the way to the pinkies. Exhale, bow towards the ground. Inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog. So in downward facing dog, from the outer elbows to the root of the thumb, index finger knuckle. Inner elbow towards the back, cross the bicep towards the back of the shoulder. And then as you reach from serratus anterior all along those side ribs towards the hands, which direction does the rib cage go? Inhale, we're going to pick up the right leg. And exhale, right foot forward. So you can always pull the blocks in, balance the weight in the hips. Inhale, upright lunge. Inhale the arms wide. Exhale, bow. Can you step to plank pose? With your next exhale, downward facing dog. Outer elbow towards index finger knuckle. Inner elbow across the bicep to the back of the shoulder joint. Lengthening. With your next inhale, from the left inner thigh, lift the left leg. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale, upright. Inhale the arms out. Exhale, gracefully, bowing forward. Inhale, step forward. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Release the arms. We're headed towards half moon. And I just want to give you the chance of, I'm going to move my chair out of the way over here. So that if you decide, you can take half moon in the middle, of the room. If you do decide you want to use a wall, because we've been just teetering with that a little. When you set up, be very, really deliberate about how close am I going to be to that wall. So that when I reach my leg back, like this is a little too close because I can't reach out the back leg any farther. I'm kind of trapped. So when I step, I'm going to step forward just another 2 inches. And I'm going to see what that does. Okay, now I realize now when I reach back, I can get a lot more length. Yes? I don't need to have the pelvis straight over that ankle, the hip straight over the ankle of the standing leg. I want to be able to lengthen back. I think I could use 1 more inch. So I think it's really worth being really careful and getting the length so you're just not going, well, that's pretty good. You want to be able to find this and just the toes to the wall. Okay? Because that way, when you're ready, you're going to, to move into the middle of the room, you'll be reaching back there. You won't need the wall. Okay? So once you get that all set up, and you're like, if you're using a wall, that is, and you've got your blocks out, not too close, a good 14 to 16 inches, because we want to be able to keep the side body long. You ready? Half moon. We'll stand on your right leg first. The way I'm going to go is from Tadasana. So if I step my left foot back, it'd be your left foot back. Find your breath and begin to pick up the back leg. And left hand, or right hand comes to the block. Maybe left hand is up on your hip. And you're reaching out those toes. Maybe they find the wall, just the toes. As you turn, you're reaching down, turning the torso. Then we're going to exhale and come out the way you went in. So I give a little bend in the front leg and transition myself back to Tadasana. Second side. Remember, if you're going from Tadasana, you have to pick up the back leg, use the Ujjayi. Once the left hand comes down, start to reach out the back leg. I am at the very tip of my toes, really. Yeah. And then you're turning the torso open towards the sky, reaching into that standing leg. Yeah, good. Great. That looks great, Derek. Yeah, really nice. Really good. That's it. That's it. That strong standing leg. That's it, Colleen. So as you reach back, there you go. That's it. Good. Good. Great. Take your time. And then we'll just meet up in Uttanasana. So you go back to Tadasana, and then you bow forward to Uttanasana. And then go ahead and inhale and come back up. So good, energizing. All right, so can we take now a twist, revolved Parsvakonasana, so revolved side ankle pose. So that if I use my blocks again, we can bow forward. Let's go ahead and step left foot back, right foot forward, low lunge. There's your lunge. Again, I want to have a long side body, and not just on, you're going to be turning to your right, but I also want the bottom, the left side of my body to be long. So in this revolved side angle, let's start by taking right hand up on your hip. Weight is balanced in the hips. A lot of strength as you reach back from the left sit bone to the left inner heel. You might scoot your left hand block a little closer towards the big toe. Lengthen out the crown of the skull. So you're lengthening all the way back into the left inner heel and all the way out the top of the head as you rotate toward the right. And then bring the right arm overhead alongside the right ear. And I can notice the importance of reaching a little down into the left hand to help me keep my length in my left side. And I can reach out serratus anterior on the right, all the way out my right hand. Exhale, we're turning towards the ground. We'll inhale, step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, right foot back. So before you begin to turn, balance the weight in the hips. Let's step your back leg back a little more, Jackie. Longer stance. Back heel is lifted. Back heel is up. Yeah, because as I reach from the right sit bone to the right inner heel, there's a lot of strength there. And then when you're ready with that, you can move the block a little closer, reach down into the block and take the left hand up. Great, great, great. And then you got it, turning. And you might bring the left arm alongside the left ear with the palm facing behind you. Yeah, so what you might do, Derek, that is bring, yeah, you got it. Now turn your palm towards the ground. Great, there you go. Now can you feel the left? Do you guys, all of you, left serratus anterior wraps that shoulder blade securely to the rib cage. Yeah, it comes forward in the body, doesn't it? This looks great, Lise. And as you reach the arm alongside the left ear, a lot of strength. So you might even, Derek, though I don't know your shoulders, you might turn the palm even towards the place behind you. Yeah, there you go. Do you feel that wrapping a little more? Yeah. Good job, everybody. A lot of strength. Good, Ingrid, working on what's going on in the front leg. Yeah. And then we're turning towards the ground. Oh my gosh, it's great. It's so much fun to watch. And then inhale, step forward. You release the hand, step forward, exhale, fold forward. Inhale halfway. And exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale halfway. We're going to exhale, downward facing dog. Feel the length in your body. What is your downward dog like now that you've done, all that standing work, the strength, the length as in that twist you just did? And then we're going to go ahead and bring the knees down and walk the hands back. All right, good. I want to do just a little abdominal work. So in this, we'll see how this goes because we want to just keep the abdominals strong. So if you'll sit, we're headed towards a bit of Navasana. So you come back enough, the feet get light. You might lift the lower legs up. Hands could be behind the thighs if you need that, or you're reaching the arms straight out. Maybe some of you might straighten the legs. And then all of us are going to start to lower the legs and lower the upper body. So we're in like a little canoe. And then we're going to come all the way down. And you have room to reach the arms overhead. Palms up towards the ceiling. Let's bend the left knee, so left foot is on the ground, and pick up the right leg. So you're reaching through the arms, and as you exhale, begin to lower the right leg, slowly. When you pause, wherever the right leg is, pause, make sure, is the pelvis moving with the leg, or is the pelvis still connected to, the torso? Inhale, pick the right leg up. Exhale, begin to lower So just notice, there goes the leg, and initially you can keep the pelvis from going with the leg, and I want you to maintain that. Inhale, right leg up. One more time as the right leg lowers, and you're reaching all the way out the hands, the leg, keeping there's tone in the belly. And then we'll lift the right leg and put the right foot on the ground. Now, the arms overhead, how far or close to the floor they are is going to depend on your own shoulders. But here we go. Right foot on the ground. Take the left leg straight up. Inhale deeply. And again, as you exhale, can you keep the pelvis in its neutral place? Your next inhale, you can lift the leg up. The exhale, you slowly lower. Slowly is important. One more time, we go inhale up. Still reaching out the arms. And the exhale, reaching out the arms, reaching out the leg. And then we'll bend the knee, lift the arms, and rest. The arms can rest wherever is comfortable. Alrighty, so then we're going to roll over to one side, use the arms to push yourself up. And I want to do a prone headstand, unless headstand is a normal, regular part of your practice. This is what prone headstand is going to look like. I'm going to have one block that's going to be for my upper back, and it's going to be lengthwise on the medium setting. Diego. I'm going to have, a second block available. That's going to go under my pelvis, but not till I'm down. And it's going to go, perpendicular to the first one at the same height. And I'm going to take, if I have a bolster, I'll use a bolster. If I don't have a bolster, I'll just use some blankets. Those are going to go underneath my feet, my ankles. And I do want them to be very close to that same height as my block. All right? So when I come into this, I'm going to bring my upper back onto the block first. Then I'm going to pick up my pelvis, put it on the block, hands behind my head, elbows toward each other. I think my blankets could be a little higher, would have been good. So you're probably going to need, a few blankets if you don't have a bolster. And then hands behind my head as if I'm in a headstand. Elbows are toward each other. I reach out the balls of my feet and I lengthen from serratus anterior all the way through the forearms. So that one block is not on, I scoot a little up, it's not under C7 at all. It's just under the upper back, below C7. So my hands are weaved together. So there is some tone in the belly. which you were just working on. There's lengthening through the inner thigh, all the way out the feet. And there's reaching from serratus anterior all the way out the forearms, my elbows toward each other. So taking some deep breathing there. I'm just gonna see if I can give you any help, I will. And you might, Derek, just notice in your body right now, the left side of you looks a little shorter than the right. So you're gonna shift the legs a little more toward your right side. So you might, I mean, I don't have a perfect picture, but you might notice like the weight in the arms. How is the weight in the arms? And that's it. And then Michael, would you bring your elbows a little closer together? And Lise, lift the head up. Lift the head up. There's a lot of strength and just, yeah, like that. Exactly, exactly. Jackie, elbows toward each other. You guys, you're lifting your head from the ground. The head is not on the floor if you're prone. Lift your head up, Jackie, more. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. There you go. Elbows toward each other. Great. Yes. And then we'll go ahead and you'll want to bend your knees and remove the block from the pelvis. Pelvis comes down, hands can go behind the head as you sit yourself back up. Very, okay, cool. Yeah, those require a lot of strength if we're those prone headstands as well. All right. Now, can we take that into either bridge pose or you know, like a supported shoulder stand. So if we take one blanket with the rolled end away, know where your blocks are. We'll go without a strap this time though. I usually like to have my strap. If you want to have your strap, you know, and it's handy, then just grab it and have a loop in it. Because that's going to be for the around the wrists. Yeah. So I'll do that. All right. So there's my strap with my loop. All right. So you're going to come down over your blanket. Shoulders are on the blanket. C7 is on the blanket, but the rest of the neck is not. Pick up the pelvis. There's one block under the bony pelvis. Second block. So you take your time to get this all set up. If you're using a strap, it's going beyond between the feet and the blocks. Hands come in, palms face each other. Whoops, I got the wrong loop. Where's my loop? All right. So you could be in this supported bridge. And notice what happens. I mean, supported, yeah, bridge pose. If you reach from the inner elbow across the bicep to the back of the shoulder joint, so you're welcome to stay in a supported bridge or bring the legs up for a modified shoulder stand. Still, I can go from the inner elbow across the bicep to the back of the shoulder joint. Reaching all the way up to the inner thighs. Michael, these legs are getting more and more vertical. You might, Lise, bring the legs a little closer to you. Yep. There you go. That's it. And you might, Jackie, can you lengthen all the way through the backs of the knees, all the way up towards the balls of the feet? That looks great, Elizabeth. I love this spacing there. Nice. And then if you have the legs up, you're going to bring them down. Take away one block. And as you take away the second, do you have room to walk towards your head so you can put your pelvis on your blanket and rest with the feet on the ground? So knees are bent, feet on the floor. All right. Then we're going to roll over to one side. Use the arms, push yourself up. And let's take, we'll sit just on the blanket, maybe that was under your shoulders. You're going to want to have a strap with, we'll take just a loop in the strap, kind of a small loop. This is going to go, when I sit right now, I'm going to take right leg straight, left foot either to the right inner knee. If my left knee between the floor and my knee, there's space, I'll add a little prop. If you sit in half lotus, you can bring the leg up and bring it into half lotus. Otherwise, your foot is at the inner knee. You're going to take the strap over the foot. And then let's take the strap to that bent knee side hip. So it comes around to the left outer hip. Reach your right arm behind you. Grab the strap. Left hand forward on the strap. You're twisting to the right. Can you? So one thing I was noticing in myself is that when I was reaching my left hand forward to the strap, sometimes I'm grabbing it so tightly, I realize it's actually stopping me from turning. So what happens when you loosen the grip a little of the left hand and reach from serratus out that left side, does that give you more opportunity to turn to the right? Alrighty, and then we're going to come back to center. We're going to take this strap, the tail, bring it up and over your head. Now take your left hand behind you to grab onto the strap. And we're just going to take a forward fold, not an intense forward fold, but here we are. We're letting the heart center rise a little bit to be a little more balanced. We feel a little more turning inward. And then we're going to come up, take the strap off, and we'll take the second side. Right foot to the inner left knee or right foot in lotus. Strap around the foot, tail around the right outer hip. Left hand reaches behind me, grabs the strap, right arm forward. I'm twisting toward my right. I'm reaching out my right serratus anterior towards the left, just to allow me to have a little bit more of a turn. And then we'll come back to center. We'll take the strap. It's going to be coming around the right outer hip. This time, right hand behind, left hand forward, and bowing. All right, and then we're going to inhale, come up. We'll take that strap off, and we're going to come down to dead bug pose. So you can either come right onto your mat, or you can pad your mat. Hands will either be on the shins, the backs of the thighs, or the little toe side of your feet. And then you'll release that. Let's take Shavasana in whatever shape you want for this resting place. And now, to allow your breath to deepen. And just beginning to awaken your body to movement. And making a transition over to one side and pausing there. Using the support of your hands and bringing yourself back up to sitting. And I'd like us to take a few rounds of Nadi Shodhana with the last few minutes remaining. So if you'll bring your right hand up with the thumb and the ring and pinky finger just below the bony cartilage. Draw the breath in through both nostrils. And your exhale out both nostrils. And then when you're ready, beginning on the left, close the right, inhale left, and so on. And with your next exhale left, with the bottom of that exhale left, you can release your right hand back into your lap. And I'm hoping that today you will also walk along outdoors. You might wonder what everybody else is doing and what it feels like being someone else. And maybe there will be some company, some listening, and some food. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.